Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in previous videos, you sort of seen these interactions that we have. In the very first animation one, we had a tap interaction. In this video, I'm going to be going over all of the different types of interactions or actions that you have available within your principal application. So let's get going on that right now. Okay. So now that we've gone through some of the basic stuff, right? The interface, the folders, grouping, now let's get into some of the good stuff. For instance, interactions. Now these interactions are going to be things that you're going to be using all the time, because obviously that's sort of the point of principle, is to be able to interact and animate onto this canvas. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to detail essentially what the different types are just by essentially creating two squares here. Let's go ahead and drag this one up so it's super big, covers the whole artboard. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and select the square, and whatever we have selected gets this lightning bolt next to it. We've seen this in action a few times, and if we select the artboard itself, it's going to be interacting with the artboard. So let's have this rectangle selected, and we can select the lightning bolt, and you can see we have a whole bunch of different options here. Now the most basic of which is auto. So I'm going to click and drag auto onto here, and you can see without doing anything, over the course of time, this animates directly. Now that's super easy. If you wanted to make just essentially an animation that just took place and sort of did its own thing, auto is going to be the way to go. Now to delete an interaction here, we can select this artboard auto right here and click delete. Now it's gone. Now let's go ahead and click this, and we can select a different one. We've done tap already, which is essentially just a tap. You click it, right? And it works. Let's go try long press. So we can click and drag onto here. And now in our window, you can tap this all you want. You could notice I'm tapping, nothing's happening. 1, 2. There it goes. So long press is differentiated from tap just by a couple second hold. Now this is an interaction that you do have frequently on mobile, the long press. Okay, let's go ahead and delete long press, and let's go ahead and select the next one, which is scroll begin. Now you might be wondering what's up with scroll begin. I can click and drag, and you can see some interesting stuff going on here. This shape is now moving when I'm clicking and dragging, and it can do left or right. But what's not happening is it's not actually animating to this new size. And you might be wondering what's going on with that. We can do this, but really what this is doing is it's not an interaction like we have with these tap. It's not going to go to this major size. Now, one way we can do that, let's go ahead and delete scroll begin. I'll talk about that more in a second. And we can have scroll release, and scroll release goes to here. Now we can scroll this, and when we let go, now it goes big. So you might be wondering, hey, what's going on with that? Well, reality is that the scroll begin functionality, we're still scrolling, and then the shape is sort of overridden because we're still scrolling. So the action took place, but it's not actually going to happen. So in this particular instance, it's going to work because we release and we're no longer manipulating this. Therefore, it's going to stretch up the entire way. Let's go ahead and check out the next one, which is going to be scroll end. Now scroll end, we scroll, and then it goes up. But let's say, let's go ahead and make this a different shape here. I'm going to make this nice and big. And what you'll notice with these scroll interactions is that we have these folders, these groupings, scroll window actually. So if we scroll this, make this a scroll window considerably larger, now what happens is we can drag this up and it's no longer getting clipped. And there we go. So now it's not just upon release, I'm releasing it, it's returning to its normal place, and then it's animating. So scroll ends is after it returns to its normal location. Unless we still can't move this right or left. Now if you wanted to do it right or left, let's select scroll window 2. Now you'll notice when we select scroll window 2 in our inspector, it now says horizontal scroll and static is vertical. So this is a group that allows us to now move this So that's super cool. You'll notice that that inside of scroll window 1, that when we do select scroll window or scroll window here, we have scroll vertical and static horizontal. And scroll window 2 is scroll horizontal and static and vertical. If we were to set this to be static, you can see that we can no longer move this right to left at all, and it's only up and down. Cool. So that's scroll window ends. Let's go ahead and delete that. Now let's go ahead and remove these groups here because it keeps on adding these groups for us. We don't want those anymore. Let's go ahead and now select the lightning bolt and let's do drag begin. Now drag begin, you might have the similar instance, but we go to drag this and hey, it automatically just animates. So any sort of dragging on this at all is going to cause this to animate. You'll also notice that when we selected that in the inspector, our shape now has the horizontal and vertical properties of drag, which it didn't have before. Well, the drag layer begins is animating this directly when it begins. So let's go ahead and remove that and let's change this to be drag end, which is going to be just like scroll end. The moment we let go of this, it actually grows from the space that it is dropped at. So that's actually really, really super cool. If we bring this down here, let go, it animates from that new position. It's not like he goes back to the old position and animates. So this is something that's really super powerful for interactions here. Okay, let's get rid of that one. And we still have a few more. We have touch down. So touch down is going to be sort of like tap, right? The moment we click it, it opens up. Where touch up is going to be the sort of the opposite of that, right? The moment that we let go of the mouse click. So let's go ahead and touch up. I'm clicking this, and you'll notice it's not doing anything. And the moment I let go, there it goes. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of that one. As we're almost done here, we have hover inside. Let's click this, and let's check out hover inside. Now, whenever my cursor hits inside of the square, it grows. Hover outside is the exact opposite, right? It's whenever you're hovering outside of your shape, it's going to animate. For instance, we hover out here and it grows. Let's go ahead and move this up here so we can actually show this in action. I'm hovering inside of the shape. The moment my mouse cursor goes outside, there it goes. Super cool. So as you can see, Principle is insanely full featured. It can encounter a ton of these different interactions. You're building this essentially interactive little demo that can really give people a great idea of these user interfaces. And now that we have so many different things like long press, press up, that sort of thing, click and drag, scroll, whatever, to illustrate what exactly you want to see as a designer or developer or anything is getting tougher and tougher. You'd say, well, okay, when I press and click down, I want this mask to come in like a circle. I mean, describing that to someone, maybe a potential investor or anything, just anybody looking at this is going to be difficult. But if you can show them an actual interactive thing and say, here, click on this, do this, that's so much better, and that's so much better even than a series of images or anything like that. This is sort of really next level prototyping here. Awesome. Super cool. So this is how we interact with our canvases via different interactions. As always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. If you'd like to help support the creation of these free tutorials, and more importantly, if you want some stuff in the process, you can head over to store.leveluptutorials.com. If you become a subscriber, you get access to all of these videos right now before they're released on YouTube. You get access to all of these Principle files. You get access to a whole bunch of extra videos that show you some of my favorite interface and design things that I found on the web, and we're going to be pawing through them and seeing exactly how they were made so you can make really insanely complex, awesome stuff yourself. So, as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment in the video, hit me up at Twitter or Facebook at Level Up Tutorials. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.